Hey, how you doing? Duff here. Today we are working on another 3D printer. Yesterday I managed to mess up my Chiron when I was hoping to replace the heated bed cables, and I accidentally cut the control wire cable as well, like a dumbass, which I'm still thinking about maybe trying to fix myself. I don't know. But enough of that. Today I am turning my focus to my CR-10. My CR-10 was my first real printer after I got my FlashForge Finder, and there's lots of videos on my channel regarding my struggles with the CR-10, trying to get it working correctly. I eventually did have pretty good success with the CR-10. I printed a lot of things on it, but ever since I got my Anycubic i3 Megas, the CR-10 has seen very sparse use, just because I like the i3 Megas a lot. So, but anyways, I figured that instead of having this thing sit here collecting dust, I would try to get it printing well again. One of the issues I've always had with this thing is leveling's been a pain. And I believe one of the reasons that leveling's been a pain is because this build plate itself is bowed or warped somewhat. And that was a common problem with the early CR-10s. Supposedly it's better now, and I actually bought a replacement hotbed assembly on eBay. No, I'm sorry, on Amazon actually. And here it is. It's advertised on the site as being a new and improved 2019 version. So what my hope is I put this bed on and it's nice and flat. Supposedly it also heats up quicker. That's another plus, because it does take a long time for this thing to heat up. So yeah, I'm hoping I put a nice new base on here. I already have my borosilicate glass that gives me a good surface to print on, but I'm hoping a nice stable heat bed will be the key ingredient to giving me some solid and consistent prints on the CR-10. Oh wow, yeah, I can already see some major differences. It actually has insulation on the bottom of it, wow. And they said that this base is actually stronger now. In addition to getting the new base, I also, because normally you would just reuse the screws, the mounts underneath here, I did buy a new set of mounts that are supposedly better, smaller knobs, easier to adjust, brass fittings instead of the ones that are on the CR-10, which are not so easy. So I don't think this should be too hard, but let's give it a shot. Alright, so I'm going to disconnect, I'm going to unplug the CR-10 just to be safe, then follow this wire to the back of your control box, and I'm going to disconnect that. Okay. And then it should just be a matter of turning these out all the way, totally undoing these bed leveling screws, and they should hopefully just come out. Okay, I have the wheels off, so this should just lift off at this point. It did. Now I did, way back when I got my CR-10, I did print this strain relief for the hot end, and I think it'd probably be a good idea for me to continue to use that, so I'm going to take that off of the old bed, put it on the new. If you compare the bottom of this, like I said, no insulation. So yeah, cool. So this new bed was not exactly cheap. I got it on Amazon, and I think shipped it was $50, $60. So yeah, it is not a frivolous purchase. I'm going to orient it the same way that the old one was. I'm going to use my same strain relief, I think, if I can get it to fit right. Yeah, I should be able to get that to work, I think. So let's get busy. This is kind of annoying. My replacement bed leveling hardware, if you see, it's like a cap head kind of screw, as opposed to the one that's comes with the CR-10, you know, beveled fit. So this actually does not even sit totally flush. The top of it sits above the bed surface, which is no good. And it's actually a thinner screw than this, so I can't use these fittings on the CR-10 screws. So I'm going to be reusing my old hardware. It looks like. Oh well, luckily it wasn't very expensive. Yeah, and these springs are dramatically shorter as well. So it's kind of weird that it was one of those deals that it was like suggested when I bought the bed. It was suggested, hey, I got this new mounting hardware, but it doesn't look like it would actually be very compatible. So that kind of sucks. All right, so I'm going to get it started on the new bed. All right, so obviously you're going to orient the new bed the same way as the old one was. That's with the wire in the back left corner. Get this started here. You can see the way that this strain relief goes on. Okay, this new platform is on. I'm now reconnecting the leveling knobs. To tell you the truth, these might actually be better anyways. The factory leveling knobs in the CR-10 are just this little thing in the middle, which are a pain. But then again, when I first got it, I printed these like wagon wheel expanders that basically make it much easier to your bed. I'm going to get these on and then go from there. Okay, I got my little strain relief on here. Zip tie that on. Cut off the excess. The wire to the back. Got to tighten these down quite a bit. I'm going to crank them down, put the glass back on, and then you have to level. And also, in my efforts to get the CR-10 printing as well as possible, again, I did put a new plug-and-play hot end assembly on here as well. Let's see what the end results are. I don't know about you, but ever since I got into the 3D printing hobby, I can't tell you how many times I've ordered stuff from one of my printers to either fix or upgrade it, and I wind up not using it, and it just gets thrown into my 3D parts bin for future use, if it ever gets used again. Oh well. Alright, so like I mentioned, I have this borosilicate glass. Very, very thick glass. Very expensive. I believe for this piece of glass, I paid 45 bucks, 50 bucks, I don't know. It was expensive. It's very, very thick. The advantage of borosilicate glass, because I've also printed on mirrors in the CR-10 as well, but the advantage of the borosilicate glass is, I guess, with the cheaper mirrors, from the heating and cooling cycles, they can start to bend and get less flat. Supposedly this glass is resistant to that. It's supposed to be pretty much bulletproof, so I'm hoping once I get this dialed in that I don't have to level it very often. That's one of the things that I love about the Anycubic i3 Megas is once I level them, I rarely have to touch them. Yeah, they just stay level forever, pretty much. Okay, so I'm going to turn this on, and I actually have an STL on here that runs through leveling. And basically what it does is it preheats the bed and heats the hot end, because they say that you get a more accurate level if it's warmer, which again on the CR-10 I don't have to, or on the i3 Megas they don't have to even worry about, but I like using this routine here if I can find it. It's funny, using the CR-10 after being in the i3 Mega world seems a little bit archaic. A little bit. Okay, leveling assistant. There we go. Alright, so what this does is this heats the bed to 50 degrees and heats the head, I think, to 170, I believe. So let's let this heat up. I am curious how long this will take to get to temp, because the CR-10, at least this original version, the hot end takes, or the heated bed takes forever to get to temperature. So let's see how this one does. Alright, so the machine is homing. And then I'm going to use one of these sheets that came again with my Anycubic i3 Megas. I like these sheets for doing leveling. So what the routine does is it just moves it to the different spots in the bed. Just get your paper ready. I used to actually have the ABL system on here, the automatic leveling system, and to me it was more hassle than it was worth, so I removed it and I went back to manual leveling. I have that back corner cranked down about as far as it'll go, and it's still touching. The fronts are okay. I'm not quite sure why I wouldn't be able to get it down far enough in the back. Okay, got the leveling done now. I'm heating it up to do a small print to see how it looks and how it does. It's printing. Alright, so there you go. That first print I was showing was not printing very well. I did one more leveling, and now the print, this is my first layer test. STL. That seems to be going down pretty smooth, so I'll have to do some more testing, but I think we're good to go for now. Alright, so anyways, that's all I got for you for now. Time will tell if this is a effective upgrade or not. Like I said, it wasn't inexpensive. You know, 50 bucks for the build plate and something like this is not cheap. I'm hoping that it allows me to put my CR-10 back into regular rotation. You know, it got to be such a pain in the ass that I just stopped using it because the i3 Megas have been so reliable and not requiring near as much attention as the CR-10. So hopefully this gets some more use out of the CR-10. If this does not fix the problem, the CR-10 might be going bye-bye and I might be getting something newer. Who knows? We'll see. So anyways, if you found this video interesting, please give it a big thumbs up. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please consider subscribing. The 3D channel does not have a lot of subscribers, so I would greatly appreciate your support. And that's all I have for you for now. Until next time, Duffman out.